this video we see about visual acuity. So visual acuity is estimation of eye ability to discriminate between the 2 points. So these are 2 separate points, and in the retina image will be inverted. There must be an unstimulated cone between the stimulated one to allow for the resolution of 2 images. If the 2 objects are too close that 2 adjacent cones are stimulated, patient would appreciate them as single target. Visual angle is angle subtended at the nodal point of the eye by the physical dimensions of the object in the visual field. So this is visual angle. Nodal point. Point on the principal axis of the lens just anterior to the posterior pole of the lens. The rays passing from where do not undergo any deviation. So just anterior to posterior pole of lens we have nodal point. If the rays pass from the nodal point, pass through the nodal point, the rays won't undergo any deviation. Snellen's chart principle. So 2 distant points can be visible as separate points only when they subtend an angle of 1 minute at the nodal point. So these 2 separate points, they subtend an angle of 1 minute. Each letter of the chart is so designed that it fits in a square, the sides of which are 5 times the breadth of constituent lines. So these are lines and this is sides of the letter. So it is 5 times the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thus, at a given distance, each letter subtend an angle of 5 minutes at the nodal point of the eye. So each letter subtend an angle of 5 minutes. Letters of top line should be read clearly at 60 meters. Similarly, subsequent line at 36, 24, 18, 12, 9 and 6 meters. Patient should be seated at a distance of 6 meters and illumination not less than 20 feet candles. So good illumination should be there. Patient asked to read the chart with each eye separately and visual acuity recorded as fraction. Numerator is the distance of patient from the letter and denominator is the smallest letter accurately read. So for example, if patient can read 6 meters, visual acuity is 6 by 6. If he cannot see the top line clearly, he is asked to move towards the chart till he can read the top line. So depending on the distance he can read the top line, his vision will be 5 by 60, 4 by 60, 3 by 60, 2 by 60, 1 by 60. If he is unable to read the top line from 1 meter also, he is asked to count the fingers of examiner, visual acuity recorded as finger count 3, 2, 1 close to face. If patient fails to count the fingers of the examiner will check the hand movement close to face. If patient fails to see the hand movement, examiner will take the patient to dark room and will throw the light in his eye. So patient can say when light is on and when it is off, recorded as projection of light positive and projection of light negative. Examiner will check projection of light in up, down, right and left directions. If he fails to see, visual acuity is no projection of light. PL is perception of light, PR is projection of rays. Next is Landau's chart. Instead of letters, broken circles are used here. So it can be used in illiterate patients. Visual acuity 2020 system is American system, whereas 66 is Snellen's system. So 2020 is 66 in case of Snellen's, 20 by 200 is 6 by 60 in case of Snellen's. In Logmar chart, 2020 is 0, 20 by 200 is 1. So pinhole visual acuity. If vision is subnormal, visual acuity should be checked by pinhole. So pinhole effect will cause less deviation of rays and to focus on the retina. If the patient vision is improving with pinhole, that means some optical condition is causing his vision problem. Next is near vision. Patient is asked to sit in the bright illumination, chart held at reading distance, usually 25 to 35 centimeters. Patient is asked to read it from bigger print to smaller print. The line which he read up to is recorded as N12, N6, etc. So chart is Jaggers chart. Suppose if patient can read up to N12 chart, his vision will be N12. If he can read up to N6, his vision will be N6. Visual acuity assessment in case of infants. So, pre-verbal children from birth to 14 months, we have to see the fixation preference of the baby. Does the baby following the target? Does the baby has central steady fixation? Does he upset when the one eye is closed? Or optokinetic nystagmus test, forced choice preferential looking test, and visual evoked potential test. For toddlers 14 months to 2.5 years, Cardiff chart and dot drum chart. These two tests are useful. For preschool children, Lee symbols, Allen chart, broken wheel chart, Landau C chart are used. So up to 14 months, usually at birth vision is 1/60. At 1 month it will be 2/60. At 4 months 6/60. With 1/60 vision, child will be able to fix a face moving with in 1 meter. So, optokinetic nystagmus test. It is gross test based on the preferential looking principle. It consists of drum with alternate white and black stripes. By rotating the drum, eye movements of the infants are observed. So, this drum contains black and white stripes. By rotating the drum, baby eye movements are checked. This is optokinetic nystagmus test. Next is visual evoked potential. It is EEG recording made from occipital lobe in response to visual stimulus. It is objective test to assess the functional status of the visual system beyond the retinal ganglion cells. There are types flash, pattern and sweep VEP. So this is visual evoked potential of this baby. Next is fixation behavior test. Whether baby can follow the target or not. It is most common, useful in OPD to assess the visual acuity in case of babies. It is a test to check ability to look at and follow an object or toy. So in this image, the baby has shown a toy. So baby is looking at the toy and following the toy. So in this baby, vision is normal. Next is binocular fixation pattern. So we occlude eye of the baby. If the baby eye is worse or if the visual acuity is not good in the eye, baby won't object the occlusion of the eye. In this image, baby is objecting the occlusion of the eye because it is good eye. In this eye, vision is very good. So if we occlude the better eye, baby will object the occlusion. Next is forced choice preferential looking. So infants looks to prefer at high contrast bold stripes rather than the homogeneous field of light. In this, child is presented with bold stripes and without stripes field. So through the peephole, examiner will observe the movement of the baby. Observer judges the location of the stripes based on the child head and eye movement. Next is cardboard drum test. Child made to observe an oscillating drum with black dots of varying sizes. So rotation of disc at 60 cm evokes pendular movement. Smallest dots that evokes the pendular eye movement denotes the visual acuity. Cardiff test. So different cards held in front of the patient and each has a picture in the upper or lower part of the card. If child looks towards the picture, examiner looks the size of the picture. So target pictures drawn on a white band bordered by two black bands on a neutral grey background. If child vision is good enough to resolve white and black bands, picture will be visible, but if bands are too narrow for the child to resolve them, pictures merges with the grey background and simply become invisible. This is Cardiff cards and this is picture visible for the child. For 3 to 5 years children, we have this broken wheel chart, Landau-C chart, K-picture chart, Allen test, etc. Video we see about refraction. For subjective refraction, in the right eye and left eye, we have to check sphere, we have to check cylinder, and then we have to check binocular balance. In the cylinder, we have to check cylinder axis along with power. Suppose he is our patient, came for subjective refraction. Best corrected visual acuity of both eyes of this patient we have to obtain, and then we have to give one pinhole to the patient, and we have to check whether with the pinhole his vision is improving or not. If it is due to refractive error, patient vision will improve with pinhole. Then after checking his vision, from the automated refraction or retinoscopy, we have to get objective refraction value. Suppose objective refraction value of this patient is plus 3.25 diopter spherical plus 1 diopter cylinder at 180 degree in his right eye. So in the right eye, we give plus 3.25 diopter sphere. Then we ask the patient to fixate lowest line letter that in the Snellen's chart that patient can clearly see. For this plus 3.25 diopter sphere in the right eye, we add plus 0.25 lens. Then we will ask the patient whether it is clear or same. If patient says it is clear or same, we add plus 0.25 diopter sphere and we repeat the process. If patient says the letter is worse with plus 0.25 lens, then we give the patient minus 0.25 lens and ask if he clearly seeing or just smaller and darker. If patient says letter is more clear with minus 0.25, then we have to subtract minus 0.25 from plus 3.25. So his final sphere become plus 3 diopter sphere. Next, we come to refining cylinder axis. So in the Jackson cross cylinder, red sign represents minus meridian while green sign represents the plus meridian. For this patient, we have to hold the JCC handle along the trial frame axis and then ask the patient to look any letter of the 612 optotype. Ask the patient lens 1 or lens 2 is clearer. If patient says lens 2 is clear, then we have to rotate the trial frame axis 10 degree towards the green side of GCC, because green side represents the plus meridian. Now we have to place the handle of GCC parallel to the new trial frame axis, and we have to check lens 1 or lens 2 is better or same. If lens 1 is better, then we have to rotate the trial frame cylinder 5 degree towards the green side of JCC. This will be the final cylinder axis of the patient. Next, we have to refine the cylinder power. This time we align the JCC axis parallel to the trial frame cylinder axis. We ask the patient whether lens 1 better or lens 2 better or both are same. If position 2 is better, then we add plus 0.25 cylinder to the trial frame cylinder power. So his total cylinder power will become 1.25 cylinder for that patient. Next is duochrome testing. Patient is asked to compare letters on the green and red side in the duochrome chart. If the letters on the green side are clearer, plus 0.25 diopter sphere is added. If letters on the red side are clear, minus 0.25 diopter sphere is added. Next is binocular balancing. We have checked sphere and cylinder for the right eye. Now we have to check the sphere and cylinder for the left eye also. After checking the both eyes, we have to add plus 0.25 diopter sphere is placed before one eye followed by another one. In the both eye, we add plus 2 diopter sphere. If the eyes were balanced, patient will report that image having additional plus 0.25 is more blur. if letter is better or same, we have to add plus 0.25 diopter sphere to the spectacles and we have to repeat the process. This is binocular balancing. Next, objective method, retinoscopy. For this, we have instrument called retinoscope, and in a semi-dark room, we have to sit at 1 meter distance from the patient, and from the retinoscope, we get the streak reflex. From the retina, we get the retinal reflex. We have to move the streak sideways and in the 180 degree and in the 90 degree. We have to move the streak and we have to observe for the retinal reflex. Suppose when we move the light streak towards the nasal side, if the retinal reflex also moves towards the nasal side, it is with the movement. If we move the light reflex towards the nasal side, if the retinal reflex moves towards the temporal side, it is against the movement. So features of the retinal reflex. For testing, working distance between patient and examiner is 2/3 meter. So this should be plus 1 point. This should be calculated in the final corrected readings. Width of the retinal reflex is narrow in high degree of refractive error. Suppose if the patient has high degree of myopia, width will be very narrow and width will be broad in low degree of refractive error. Suppose if the patient has low myopia, width will be very broad. Speed is rapid movement in case of high refractive error. It will move very rapidly. Speed is slow in case of low refractive error. Brightness is more in case of high refractive error, and neutralization point is entire retina is filled with the light is neutralization point. Suppose if the retinal reflex is with the movement, we need to add more plus to neutralize the reflex. If the retinal reflex is against the movement, we need to add more minus to neutralize the reflex. Thank you. Suppose we got neutralization point in the 180 degree, it is plus 1. In the 90 degree plus 2. We have used cyclopentolate as mydriatic. For that we have to subtract 0.5 and 2/3 distance we have used, so we have to subtract minus 1.5. This is uncorrected retinoscopy reading. So when we subtract this value from these two, we get corrected retinoscopy reading as plus 2 minus 2 becomes 0, plus 1 minus 2 become minus 1. So when we prescribe the glass, we will write as minus, only one axis power is needed, so minus 1 cylinder at 90 degree. So 180 will become 90 at the prescription. 90 degree. So this is case 1. Next we see the case 2. Case 2, suppose we got corrected refractory retinoscopy reading as in the 180 it is plus 3, in the 90 it is plus 4. So when we prescribe in the form of spectacles, Suppose if we start from +4, it will be +4 sphere we are coming from higher to lower, so -1 cylinder at axis will be opposite. So here it is 180, so axis in the prescription is 90. Or we can also write it as, if we start from here, +3 sphere and difference is +1. Only one diopter cylinder at 180 degree. Next is example 3. Suppose we got -2 sphere +1 cylinder at 90 degree. So for transcription, algebra sum of sphere and cylinder will come as sphere. So -2 + 1 will become -1 sphere. For cylinder, we have to change the sign and change the axis with -1 cylinder at 180. So 90 will become 180 in transcription.